So in just 7 days, we could have some monumental issues. We could see a full economic collapse. We could see truckers resigning from the industry, and we could see pretty much a full halt or standstill on our supply chains. And this has to do with one thing that happened just this past week. Now, let's talk about it. Because one of the things that I always try to do here on this channel is give you the facts, let you know what's coming, talk about what could potentially happen to our economy and how you can be prepared. Well, I want to touch on that because today is also a little bit different. Because what I'm actually going to tell you today is shocking. This is shocking. It could send the United States economy into a full economic collapse. And I want to explain why. We could also see truckers just completely leave the industry, as many are already trying to do. And again, our supply chain will come to a screeching halt. So what happened this past week? Well, let's go back a little bit further. Let's go back to 2019. Because in 2019, what happened was California put something in place called an AB 5 law. Now, this law was held up because it was being fought. But this law would make it more difficult for companies to hire independent trucking contractors. Because the AB 5 law specifically is saying that you have to, if you're an independent contractor, you cannot just work for one main company. Let's say like FedEx or, I don't know all the trucking companies out there, but I know FedEx is one, or Amazon or Walmart, or right, whatever, it doesn't matter. You have to work for more than one company to be classified as an independent contractor. If you only work for one company, you're technically employed by that company. Now, the reason why California, put this in place is because they estimate that they're losing about $6 billion per year in unpaid taxes from these independents. Well, fast forward to this week when on Thursday, right before the Supreme Court dismissed for their term, they denied the review of the appeal. Because there was an appeal that was put together by the California Trucking Association, the CTA. And this was pretty much the CTA's last-ditch effort to keep the independent contractor law away from its operations. And this is huge. And the reason why this is huge is because this could actually send 70,000 independent truckers in California alone running from the industry, as this could potentially be their best, as far as their best interest financially, is to just get away from it. Now, I want to read you some statements from the California Truckers Association. The first one says, and I quote, "Gasoline has been poured on the fire. That is our ongoing supply chain crisis. In addition to the direct impact of California's 70,000 owner-operators who have 7 days to cease long-standing independent businesses, the impact of taking tens of thousands of truck drivers off the road will have devastating repercussions on an already fragile supply chain, increasing costs and worsening runaway inflation." That statement alone should send chills down your spine. If we see 70,000 independent truckers close up shop, stop what they are doing, not deliver for the companies that they're currently working for, or sending products from the West Coast to the East Coast, or anywhere in between, this is going to hurt our supply chain. It's going to devastate our economy. And when we see little supply but demand is still high, guess what? Inflation goes up as well. But in another statement, it says, with AB 5 now set to go into effect, thousands of owner-operators driving in California face an uncertain future. California has provided no guidance to owner-operators about how they can work as independent contractors under this new scheme. And truckers will be at the mercy of the courts to interpret how the law will be applied. This is scary. This is scary because we could see owner-operators or independent contractors leave the industry as a result of being scared due to any business. Okay, if they do any business and it's outside the scope of this law, they could be fined by the state of California. And you know what's worse than getting paid peanuts and getting paid pennies is to get paid peanuts and then you're fined on top of that. And so you're actually hurting yourself and your family just by being in that situation. This is why it is estimated that we are going to see thousands and thousands of truckers just in the state of California leave the industry. So again, we are 7 days away, but those 7 days that technically started on Friday. So that was yesterday. So technically we have 6 days. Again, it's not great news. But what we are seeing is the big corporations, they're now in control over many truckers in California. This is likely going to lead to lower wages. Because keep this in mind, the AB5 program is going to hurt lease operators. So if you've been paying for a truck for years, now those leases could potentially be go and revert back to the parent company unless those lease operators have multiple clients under different businesses. Again, this is scary, but this is what's happening. This is what is happening because of the Supreme Court's ruling or denial of this review. Again, it is scary stuff, but this is what's going on right now. And the troubling part is we are going to see increased demand this weekend and Monday because it's a holiday weekend. We're also going to see increased demand over the summer months, but what happens? What's the real concern? Well, here's what I can tell you. What happens if truckers just decide to leave the industry? They just go somewhere else. Guess what? Products are going to take longer to get from the West Coast to the East Coast and vice versa. What happens if a fraction of the 70,000 independent workers decide to switch careers? Again, how will products be delivered? I don't know. Honestly, I wish I could tell you something. I wish I could give you some great answer, something that would somewhat lift your spirits on this holiday weekend, but that's not what we're getting. And that's what's so frustrating about all this is I sit here and I look at my computer screens and I'm trying to figure out what could we do? What might we see? And honestly, people don't have answers. But there's a lot of independent contractors that are scared, that are worried how they can get through this. How are they going to get through this mess? Are they going to be able to provide for their family? And if they do, is it going to be better or worse than before? So again, we could potentially be on the verge of an economic collapse. We could potentially be on the verge of truckers resigning in droves. But again, we don't know yet. We're going to find out this coming week. And as always, I promise I will be here every step of the way. I will keep you updated on what's going on, how this is going to impact us. Whether you live in California or you live in a different state, you will be impacted because of this one ruling. I guarantee it. So, as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.